Hey y'all, this is Treacherous Slayer coming at y'all with another video, and before we get started, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Now today y'all, we get into Dexter Original Sin, episode 7. Now y'all, I'll have to say this episode beyond just pissed me off to no end, cause what the hell. Now let's get into it. The episode picks up where episode 6 left off, where Dexter pulled up to Alligator Alley to get rid of the evidence with Levi. So the cop stops him like, okay, what are you doing here? And he's turning around and he quickly comes up with the excuse that he was one of the forensic people called, and luckily it worked since they were really questioning forensics being there since he is technically part of the forensic team. So luckily, also to keep his alibi tight and accurate, Masuka and LaGuerta are already there investigating, and he notices Ferrero's arm wasn't completely, eradicated by the alligator, so he has to use his quick thinking to get rid of the lingering evidence for Ferrero, and not to mention get rid of Levi's body as well, since he can't obviously dump in Alligator Alley no more. And it was just so funny how hearing his inner monologue talk about his last meal if he gets caught, and talking about how it would be rare steak and 2 chocolate milkshakes. I'm like, just big bag activity. Like, let's be serious. And Masuka tells him, like, okay, try to get some fingerprints, but he tells Masuka, like, well, obviously he's decayed damn near, so how can you get any fingerprints due to some water and everything? Like, then Masuka told him, well, since Tanya's not here, I'm in charge, so do what I say. I was like, I guess he said, I'm in charge at the moment, so just listen and get the evidence. So luckily for Ginger Snap, when LaGuerta and Masuka turns around to go continue to investigate, with his quick thinking, he stages an alligator attack and tosses Ferrero's arm in there as well to make it seem like he was escaping a near-death experience from an alligator. And obviously LaGuerta was like, okay, what the hell? Like, what happened? Like, how'd you let that happen? And he was like, well, I was nearly attacked by an alligator, and they took Ferrero's arm in there with him. I was like, thank God for his quick thinking, because he was definitely going to get booked. So Masuka was like, well, there's no need for us to be here anymore. Y'all want to go get something to eat? And then all the other guys was like, hell yeah, why not? And LaGuerta asked Dex if he wants some, and he's like, I think I'm good for now. So luckily, he plays that off, and he has a quick backup plan to go dump Levi's body in the landfill. Because they don't really check the landfill area as is for any, missing people. So he goes there, dumps Levi, and they're in their Dodge getting crushed from a garbage truck. I was like, that was a close second. Then he just goes home like nothing didn't happen, and literally doesn't take a shower or anything. I was like, now Ginger Snap, you gotta do better than that. Like, you should just went straight to the shower and incinerated those clothes, because all the bacteria that was up in there and all that funk you just brought up in the house, like, you had to be smarter than that. Like, he started going into the refrigerator, digging into spaghetti, then Deborah come in and eat him alive. Like, okay, what does that smell? And where the hell have you been? And he's like, in a swamp area for a murder investigation. And she was like, okay, so why does the swamp smell like a hobo's ass? Like, you need to go shower because you smell disgusting. And I can just imagine the smell, because, like, really, you're just gonna start eating some spaghetti without, did you wash your hands or anything? But obviously not, because what the hell? Then Harry comes in, congratulates Deborah for getting a scholarship for her volleyball team, and he also notices Dexter staying, like, okay, you need to go shower and everything because you smell horrible. And then as Deborah leaves, Harry asks him, okay, how did the Levi thing go? And then he explained to him the dilemma he was in with almost getting caught with the body in his truck. And Harry scolds him, like, why would you even go there? And you didn't even consider the possibility of Masuka asking for a ride, or no cops, like, putting some equipment in your truck. Like, you could have been caught that quick. Like, did you ever consider that? He was like, look, I used my quick thinking, and no one's going to check the landfill, so his body is long gone by now, so we don't have nothing to worry about. He was like, okay, yeah, just go clean up and get dressed. And obviously we see Harry still sneakily having stress triggers and still smoking cigarettes after the doctor informed him to stop smoking. So obviously he's hard-headed as hell, so he's one to talk. Then after Ginger Snap cleans up and everything, he's about to pull off in the truck, and then y'all, why does Sophia she pulls up on him like, okay, why the hell you didn't call me after our date? Like, you think you just hit it and quit it? Like, what do you think this is? And he was like, no, I was busy with a crime scene. Since we already know, Deborah told him, like, why haven't you talked to Sophia? Like, are you dumb? Like, obviously you're dumb. And we see the consequences of that action. So she checked him like, oh, like, I'm such an idiot. I should have considered that. Like, are you okay? Was everything okay? And then she was like, yeah, everything's fine. And then things that really stay good as she notices, like, some lingering trash pieces that he didn't consider to clean out his truck before. We see a used Trojan wrapper on the floor. She picks it up like, what the hell is this? He's like, obviously that's not mine. I don't think you should touch that. It's not really sanitary. And he was like, obviously at the swamp. She was like, okay, who the hell gonna be getting a back broke at the swamp? Like, I know you're not lying to me right now, so it's gonna be like that. Bye, like, screw you. And she leaves in a rage, and he's just sitting there awkwardly, like he don't know what just happened and what just transpired in a fast minute. So I was like, now, Ginger Snap, you should have used that common sense of yours to get rid of any remaining evidence that you was at that landfill. And now you just brought some trash on that just completely destroyed your potential relationship with Sophia. Like, I'm like, out of all times. And she even left poor Deborah, like, waiting, like, oh, what the hell? Like, did she just ditch me? Then we jump to the station where they're still continuing Nikki's investigation and his whereabouts and other crimes. And we also see Dexter apologizing for his fraud and losing Ferreira's arm. Little do everyone knows he's the reason why Ferreira's gone, so that's good. He don't have to worry about that loose end anymore. So everybody goes about their business, and Clark stops Dexter to, recollect that night he bumped into him to make sure, Dexter doesn't out him and, ruin his reputation, to make sure there's no potential ill will against him. And Dexter just looks at him like, no, it's not really a big deal to me. Like, just be you. And Clark tells him, like, thanks, yeah, it was a big deal to my parents, though, so that's why I'm here, where I could be myself in Miami. And Dexter was like, yeah, that's cool and everything. Because Dexter said, be who you are for your pride. So that's good that Dexter's a good ally. We'd love to have him on the team. And we see a flashback of Deborah meeting up with Estrada and him telling her how she's been doing great work and putting in that work for their business and how she needs to meet him at the docks, ship some cargo or whatever. I'm like, I can tell where this is going, so we know how that ends up in the future. And then we also see Dex constantly contemplate on a new spot to ditch his trash, meaning like get rid of the evidence of his victims. Then we see Deborah arriving at school and asking Sophia, like, why the hell did she ditch her and everything. And she's like, okay, you should ask your brother why, because he's cheating on me. And Deb has to check her, like, now you talking about Dexter, like, we're talking about Dexter Morgan here, like, the literal introvert himself. You think he has the time to cheat? I was like, girl, you over here thinking he is over here cheating and he just over here ridding the world of trash. Little do you know, like, let's be serious. And she gets pissed off at Deb for taking Dexter's side because Deb says, like, Dex just not that kind of guy. He's not a player. He won't do you like that. And Sophia overreacts and is like, oh, so you taking his side over mine? That's classic. And then she was like, what is this about taking sides? I'm being serious. Like, we're talking about Dexter. He wouldn't cheat on you. Like, are you being dead ass right now? And then she just says, fuck you, just walks away. Like, I'm like, now, girl, I was like, I guess Ginger Snap got that schlong because she is whipped. Ginger Snap got that Magnum PI because he got Sophia acting crazy. Because I'm like, well, just when things are going good, I was like, I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. Well, let's be serious. Now she overreacting with Deborah and fuck with their friendship over Dex. I'm like, girl, there you go, jump to conclusions. Oh my gosh, I literally can't. This episode was just pissing me off to no end, y'all. Then we jump to Dex is talking to Angel because Angel notices Ferreira's ring on a crime scene photos, and Dexter has a quick chat with him like, I don't think that's Sonny's ring, like maybe that could be anybody's ring. And then Angel's being stubborn and jumps to conclusion like, no, I know for sure that's his ring, and obviously I gotta investigate this. And Dexter has to go quickly tie up this again, another loose end, since Angel is not minding the business that pays when he tells him like, look, maybe this was justice for the victims, so maybe you could just let this go. What you really need to be focused on is Nikki's case and finding the captain's son. That's should be your priority. You don't need to be getting sidetracked by trivial things like this. So luckily he convinces Angel to get his head out of his ass and pay attention to Nikki's case so he can forget all about Tony Ferreira. Luckily that loose end is tied up for Ginger Snap as well. So Ginger Snap goes and talks to Masuka about his mess up with the arm last night and everything, and they continue just discussing. And you also see Nikki getting attacked by the abductor, but luckily Nikki, with his quick smart thinking, he slashed the abductor in his wrist and caused him to bleed suddenly. But unfortunately for Nikki, he also got his pinky finger cut off, and his pinky was sent to Miami PD, and Dex and Tanya and Masuka quietly, observe it and notice it's the same instrument that was used to cut Jimmy's finger. So obviously the crimes are tied together. She has to break the news to an already frustrated Aaron as he tries to storm into office and see what the hell's going on with the investigation. So Tanya tries to break it down as sensitive as possible to Aaron so he doesn't crash out like he did last episode. So she tells him that luckily Dex found a sample on the box that the finger was done in to cross-match and see if the blood is linked to Nikki's or the abductor's blood, and make sure there are two different blood specimens. Aaron kind of visibly relieves at that news as he tells him to continue to search. We also see LaGuerta convincing Aaron to let her and Harry investigate a potential serial killer that's experimenting with killing, basically, that Dexter already theorized that that's what's happening. So luckily they get the okay for that. And we see Deborah back at school, getting ready for volleyball practice as she, ties up her shoes there. Then she sees Sophia over there hanging out with the ops and everything. I'm like, girl, you is really hurt at this point. I can't, this thing was just pissing me off. And Tiffany comes in a rage and starts yelling at Deborah, talking about, I can't believe you and your loser boyfriend destroyed my car and left it on the beach. Now I stand on an engine and it's just all messed up. And Deborah was like, I have no idea what you were talking about. So you need to get out of my face, give me 50 feet. And she says, I know you and your loser boyfriend, Gio, they did that. And then obviously Deborah put two and two together. She sees Sophia trying to lurk in the corner with the other hoes. And she's like, wait, you ratted me out? Are you serious? You ratted me out? You snitched? And Sophia just was like, well, they were gonna call the cops. I'm like, girl, now hold that out, because I'll have to drag you later if I was there, because hell no. And Tiffany adds fuel to the fire as she's like, yeah, I see why you can't keep any friends. Now look at you all alone. And then everyone was like, oh yeah, bitch. And she immediately punches Tiffany dead in the nose, which was a bad move. I was like, dang, Deborah did crack her real quick. I was like, damn. And the coach was like, Deborah, in my office, meow. So obviously that didn't end well for Deborah. Then we see towards the end of the episode where we're just waiting. It's the big waiting game. I'll say this episode is definitely good in terms of pacing, with having you anticipate the results of the abductor's DNA with Nikki's. And luckily, they wait for the next morning, and Aaron's the first one to see the result of the test, basically, since Dexter noticed he was waiting in his office, and Dexter was confused, hey, what is he doing here in my office, and he looking at the results, And we noticed that the DNA match for the abductor and Nikki's were the same type, and Dexter said it's 34% of the population it turns anyway, so it could be anyone, you know. But it still narrows it down, so we still have a chance to find him. And then, y'all, why the hell we noticed that Aaron is wounded on his left wrist? And I'm putting two and two together, and that's where Nikki slashed the abductor at too, y'all. Now, keep following me, y'all. And then even Ginger Snap peeped was like, oh, well, yeah, what happened to your wrist? And then he comes up with an excuse like, oh, yeah, I was repairing the air conditioner and I got punctured or whatever. And then he reassures him that thanks for this, and we're definitely going to find my son, blah, blah, and then leaves out the office. But then we see Ginger Snap having another simulation in his head in terms of Aaron being the abductor the whole time, y'all. And I think it's true because we hear his inner monologue saying, oh, looks like I'm going to have to find a new place to dump bodies as soon as I thought. Because I was like, yeah, because it looks like someone else that's right under your nose about to be right on that killing table of yours that he quoted earlier. Y'all, this was crazy. And then as we wrap up, we see Aaron at a grocery store shopping. You know, we see some bananas and then them 2 big bottles of water and then 2 packs of Sunny Smile Lunchables. And I was like, here we go. Then the cashier was like, oh, these are popular with the kids these days. And then the camera's going to focus on Aaron saying, oh, yeah, my kid loves them. I was like, okay, here we go. And then, y'all, that wraps up. I would say this episode really pissed me off. And all I can say is I can't wait to see Aaron's fate. Because I was like, whole time, it's Aaron. Like, I don't know if y'all seen that show on AMC a couple years ago called The Killing. It's giving that when the captain was killing all those young girls in that small town. See, that was insane because this is mirroring that. And I just wonder how Harry's going to react, because obviously I don't know if he's going to take it too lightly that Dexter is suggesting that Aaron is an abductor the whole time, but given his leniency with Nurse Mary, maybe he will comply and hopefully let Dexter take him out, because I'm like, yeah, finally we got the identity of the abductor. I'm like, and how Mrs. Voorhees will put it, Dexter, make him suffer. That's all I can say, and I cannot wait to see him suffering on that killing table, because how can you do that to your own son, let alone any other child? Like, you're evil. You need to, be taken out, because that's crazy. I can't. This was such a great episode, and what y'all think is going to happen with that whole thing, because that's insane. Like, I was not expecting that plot twist. That was a plot twist for the books. Like, Aaron being the abductor. I can't believe that. I'm just in shock still from watching it, because I can't. And then Sophia getting Deborah expelled and shit by snitching. I'm like, girl, yeah, you have to meet me outside after that, because we definitely gonna have to fight. And, she goes to Gio's, and, I don't know, but I got a theory about Gio that whole time he could be, like, related to Estrada, too, so that should be interesting to see unfold in the later episodes, too, so I don't know, y'all. But I could say the Morgan house is kind of falling apart at the moment, but hopefully they can keep it together. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm Treacherous Slayer, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.